Who can hear me? Can anyone hear me? Who can hear me? Starting the broadcast. I'm using a new system. I don't really know if it works. Testing, testing. Testing. Hello, James. Glad you can hear me. Thank you for being the first person who can hear me. I much appreciate it. And Fanta. Lovely to see you tonight. So tonight, it is week 6 Friday, better known now as week 6, day 5, and also my favorite night of the year. And here's what happened, guys. I decided I needed to take a trip because I just did, okay? And I was looking at my schedule and at the schedule of the racetrack called the Fairgrounds in Louisiana, and I was like, you know what sounds amazing is going there in March. And then I was like, you know what sounds even more amazing is going there next week. So then I booked the trip, and I was thinking I was kind of a genius. And then like 10 people said, don't you know that that's week 6, day 5, and you have to call the Derby and stuff? And I was like, yeah, I do know that. Obviously, I'm going to call it from my hotel room. So that's what's happening right now. I'm actually currently in Texas because we drove all the way across the state of Louisiana today to go to Delta Downs tonight, and it was too expensive to stay there. So we're now in Texas. So I'm broadcasting to you from a hotel room in Texas, and tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. driving 3.5 to 4 hours back to go to the fairgrounds, and then on Sunday I'll go home and pretend I was home the whole time. So I started the broadcast a bit early because I wanted to make sure it was going to work. So far, so good, I think. We haven't figured out how to do an MC with this system, but that's okay because we don't need one when I'm only doing a 30-minute show. Although I kind of wish I had one now that it's a 45-minute show. So first of all, let's make sure that you get all your bets in and your contest picks in if you haven't already done that. Don't forget that there is a Derby Oaks double and also a Guess the Derby Exacta, which is always really hard to do, so anyone who can do it gets to have a steward bread. I'm kind of banking on it being difficult because it usually is, just because of the sheer number of, choices. We do have a full field of 20 this year. At least last I looked. There were like 22, and then it was 21, and the 21 horse got booted, so yeah. Before all that, we're going to do some of the races in Dubai. Not all of them, although I guess I could start doing them, because we're all just here, right? Would anyone mind if I called some extra races? I'm super out of practice, because you may recall that during the week 16 races, I had just had surgery, and then we found out the broadcaster didn't work, and then I just kind of gave up and went back to sleep. So I haven't called a race for you guys in, math is hard. Whatever 12 to 16 plus 6 is, 10 weeks? 10 sim weeks? So, yeah. I guess we can do some extra races. Which is not going to be a great way for me to test this brand new cool system that I have, because they are not on here. But alas, we will keep on keeping on. Let me find some other races for you guys to hear. If you don't stop laughing at me, I swear. Alright, first up is going to be the Arabian Desert Cup. And here's the thing about the Arabian Desert Cup. I'm not going to call it. I'm just going to tell you who wins because, yeah, that wasn't going to happen. So in today's Arabian Desert Cup, we had a field of 7. And I'm pretty positive that we had the horse that won this race last year. This is a lot harder when you don't have it all set up nice for you. Or for me, I guess, specifically. Past performances. Visionary Leader is the horse that won this race last year, and Visionary Leader is indeed in the race this year. So anyway, the race went, and let's see. Paradox Visionary went to the lead. I'm pretty sure all of them in here are Visionaries, and that horse dueled with Hayali for most of the race, all the way to the final call. But then, from second last, Chemo Siri came flying and won by a length. So congrats to Ash Terracin and Chemo Siri, who is a recently headshotted son of, guess who? The Visionary. All right, we got to do something about that, guys. Oops. May have forgotten to close the betting on that particular race. I'm going to kind of try and go do that before you guys notice. Okay, took care of that problem. Hi, Pete. This is bonus coverage. And everyone who's sending me private messages, sorry, I'm not reading them because I'm the MC and the caller person. All right, next up we have the Desert Turf Sprint. Let me check the pick six. Hey, can one of you lackeys back here check the pick six and tell me what race that starts? Okay, well, other lackey then. Or the pick four, or any of those. Are the desert races included? Can't make this go away. Oh, okay. I do have minions tonight. Okay, Pete says that the pick six starts with the Desert Golden Sprint. We're not there yet. What about the pick four, Pete? Come on, Pete. Give me that pick four. All right, I'm just going ahead because that's taking too long, y'all. So, in the Desert Turf Sprint, we had a very short field. I don't know why. Of only 5 horses, which is very unusual. And evenly matched field of 3 millionaires and then 2 outsiders. And I have to say, one of my all-time favorite sim horses was the victorious in this race, and that is Rogue for Laura Smith, who won by 4. Unchallenged. Impressive animal. Laura Smith, not Laura Ferguson. Bay was making fun of you. It was inappropriate. Next up, we have the Dubai Millennium Mile. Hey, I'm supposed to actually call this one. So I'm going to skip it and go to the duty free. And in this race, I thought for sure it was going to be a Lucas Davenport Exacta because he has a duo in here of Only Me and Let Me. You guys stopped. Sorry, the lackeys are being bad. But it ended up being Only Me. Nope, wait. Yeah, Only Me who won the race. And this horse is riding quite the win streak. This son of King of Monsters out of a Sydney mare. This horse is going to be pretty awesome this year, I think. He's won 3 in a row. He was 3rd in the Stewards Cup last year, which was a bit of a surprise, I thought, because he just hadn't proven to be that kind of horse yet. So, good job, Lucas, and Only Me. I'm seriously going to kick these people behind me. Okay, lastly, before we start the night of... Oh, no, there's 2 more because the marathon I'm definitely not calling. So, next up is the Desert Golden Sprint. I'm not calling this, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay, so I'm not calling this. Okay, just making sure. So the Golden Sprint was basically your typical Xander Zone versus Brandon McKenzie thing, because that's how sprints seem to go. Every now and then Gigi sneaks in there, or Brandon, but it's usually just them. And sure enough, that's kind of how it went down. Whoa, I just made my screen disappear. It's going well, guys. With Xander Zone prevailing with decency over Brand McKenzie's kinetic. Decency won by 2 1/4, and he is a son of Glance Sideways out of the Mighty Mare Graces. He's now 11 for 16, so that's a pretty good horse. I'm pretty sure I'm not calling the Desert Mile, right? Yeah, so I kind of skipped that one. This race, I couldn't have even told you who any of these horses were. Like, I vaguely remember Tigers Come at Night and Dream in Shades, I know, in a Stewards Cup race. But the horse that won this race is not someone that I would have picked. Like, if I was handicapping or whatever. He did cost $1.8 million. It was Dragon and Pegasus. So, good job to Mike Springer and Dragon and Pegasus. Now is it the marathon? Yes. The Scott Island Memorial Desert Marathon. And on this road trip that I've been having, we've been discussing our dear friend Scott Island a lot and how we miss him and don't really approve of the fact that he's gone and wish that he could come back because we miss him a lot. So anyway, this is the 2-mile race. So that was definitely never going to call that. But this was actually a super, super good field. Honestly, like, this is probably the best marathon field that I've seen horse for horse. And it's pretty funny that I didn't know that this horse won until this moment. But the winner was definitely... Are you ready? You guys ready? I'm asking y'all behind me. Are you ready?
Yeah. Sorry, I want to pay attention.
The winner was Rolling in the Deep for Louise Bayou.
Yay!
This is an Art Vandelay bred by Man of Mystery out of Adele, and he is now 12 for 25 lifetime, and really needs a headshot, so hurry up, yo. This race was so good. Fighting Spirit was second, Thunder Run third, The Flame Still Burns fourth, Into the Fire fifth, Vector was sixth. It's so good that Encrypted Hello was seventh. Pretty sure he won the Stewards Cup Marathon, didn't he? Last year? Yeah, he did, and he was seventh. So, how'd that go for him? So there you go. That's the races that I wasn't going to call. And now, we can start talking about the races I am going to call. It would help if I could find it. Okay, so the first race today is the Dubai Millennium Mile. And this is a field of 7. The horse on the rail is Between the Stars for Rebecca Rose Hepburn, who has an undefeated horse in the Derby tonight. And she decided to go watch the new Black Panther Marvel movie, I think it is. And she was like, well, I had the tickets for many weeks. And I was like, well, you had an undefeated horse heading into the Derby for many weeks. So that's, yeah, the Derby's tonight, and that movie's going to run for like months. So that's your bad. So anyway, Between the Stars is on the rail. And this is a son of Distant Dream out of Memento Mori. And he is coming off a 3rd place finish in the Sandcastle Stakes, which is the local prep for this event. Next up is Heard the Prophecy, who apparently was bred by me and is owned by Epiphany Acres. This guy is coming off a win in the Fleet Admiral Mile, which is a grade 2, but he was 11th in the Stewards Cup last out before that. But before that, he was a grade 1 winner in Australia. So hit or miss with Heard the Prophecy. He is 6 for 7 lifetime. Next up is the mare, Paramore. A daughter of Rillian for Fanta Arcadia, and she has won 10 of 16 starts, including 3 of her last 4. That loss was she ran against the boys in the Stewards Cup Turf Mile rather than the girl version, and she finished 5th that day against some of the best in the world. So she's obviously totally fits with this group. Then we have Danny Derby's homebred White Josh, named for the show Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, for anyone who is confused. He was a Grade 1 winner 2 back. That was in Australia, but he was 4th in the local prep for this race. This is another son of Distant Dream, who seems to be a pretty awesome stallion. Then we have Little Constance, a son of worldwide fame for Laura Ferguson. This guy did win the Stewards Cup Juvenile Turf at 2, and since then he's been kind of frustrating, running well in all these Grade 1 races, but it wasn't until week 14 of last year that he broke through to win the Dortmund, which for some reason is a mile on the grass. That race must have existed before Dortmund, the real horse, existed. And then we have Close to the Best, who is a son of Make My Own Luck for Garland Farms. This guy is coming off of a win in the Prix-Fleet Admiral in France. He is 10 for 11 lifetime, with that one loss coming 2 back in the Stewards Cup Turf Mile. That was by a nose to Keep Us Close. No Keep Us Close in here today, so will he continue his winning streak? Last but not least is Heel Not Hurt for Rocky Ryliza. This is a son of Do No Harm, and he last out was 4th in the Mona Kai Mile, but before that he won the Give Applause Stakes in Texas, which brings us back to square one because I am currently broadcasting from Texas. So there you have it. That is the preview of this race, and before I actually call it, I'm going to take a tiny break and hope that the mute button on my mic works. Are you guys still listening or not?
I'm listening to you.
Alright, well, someone tell me if that mute button doesn't work anymore. The minions want to remind you guys that there's going to be contests after the Derby. Chris Bobby has generously donated her usual assortment of game point prizes for anyone who wants to stick around. And yeah, that'll be good, so stick around for that. One more minute to post for the Dubai Millennium Mile. Make sure you get your bets in on this 7-horse field, a very tightly matched field, in my humble opinion. Do you like the mare? I was going to say filly, but the mare, Paramore. Do you like Rebecca Rose Hepburn's Colt on the Rail? Do you like the Stewards Cup winner, Little Constance? Are you a fan of White Josh? Or will it be Close to the Best, avenging his only loss? And by avenging, I guess I don't really mean avenging because the horse that beat him's not in here. Betting pool currently at $19,000. Come on, let's get to 25. 25. 25. All right, it's post time for this race. Look at this closed betting button. I have a new system, guys. It's pretty nifty. Hope it worked. A field of 7 set to go. Gosh, I haven't done this in so long. I'm a little bit nervous. And they're off in the Dubai Millennium Mile. White Josh fell to his knees at the start. A bad break for White Josh. It is Paramore straight to the front, joined by Little Constance, and then White Josh, who's hustled up by the rider and between the stars on the rail, so those 4 go off. Close to the Best settles back 5th, about a length behind those 4 in the front, and then He'll Not Hurt and Heard the Prophecy is the trailer, so they go whipping towards the backstretch, and it is Paramore, the mare, leading by a half length over Little Constance. White Josh is in between there with Between the Stars pinned on the rail. 2 back to Close to the Best and another 2 to He'll Not Hurt. Heard the Prophecy has dropped back 7 lengths last. So it's about 10 lengths front to back with Paramore leading by a neck. Little Constance trying to get at her. Here comes Close to the Best with an early move going around the turn. White Josh is done. Between the Stars is asked to go, but he's not doing enough right now. He's falling back. He'll Not Hurt and Heard the Prophecy. They're into the stretch. Paramore, and she's trying to kick away. Here comes Close to the Best trying to get her. Little Constance not doing enough, and He'll Not Hurt not coming fast enough, so we're down to 2. It's Paramore, Close to the Best, and now Close to the Best has just opened up on them, and Close to the Best is running away to win by 2.5. Paramore second, Little Constance third, then He'll Not Hurt, and White Josh. The official winner is Close to the Best, which I guess he is close to the best as he's now 11 for 12 lifetime. This is a steward-bred son of Make My Own Luck Out of These Secrets by Alexander, owned by Garland Farms. He was a $1.7 million purchase, and he has now earned well over $2 million. He has an excellent headshot with orange blinkers. Next up, we have the Desert Turf Classic, and let me tell you guys, this race is stacked. It's crazy. It only has 7 horses in it, but this is like, it's just really good. So, on the rail, I'm just going to do them really fast because we only have 3 minutes, is Kane Saracen's Night March. And this is a Japanese-bred son of Catassin Black. Coming off of a win in the Magic Carpet Stakes, which is the local prep for this, by a head over Summerland. Next up is Night's Quiet, who is a son of Shahira for Willie Carson. How Willie Carson got away with buying this horse for only $3 million? Crazy. Then we have Wildly Red for LaDonna King. This is a homebred son of Reddington. Lifetime highest speed figure is only a 90, whereas the very next horse in the race, Fireproof, he's earned a 98. Fireproof was 3rd in the Stewards Cup Turf 2 years ago. Last year he was 7th, and that was after winning the Arc and making that challenging ship. So he hasn't, oh, just kidding. Wait, why is there a Grade 1 race called the Twins Are Coming? I'm confused. Is that a sponsored race?
I'm sure it was.
Anyway, so he won that last out against a horse named the Tear Slayer, who I'm 90% sure won a race already today. In Asia, maybe? Could be. Next up is Summerland, the wonderful horse owned by Nina Olson, and this guy is 11 starts, 6 wins, 5 seconds. Will he win today, or will he be second, or will he do something crazy? As I already said, last time he was second to Night March, but before that, he did win the Stewards Cup Turf as a 3-year-old over Quieter Time, who is one of the best ever, and is also in this race. The 6th horse, Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura. I'd like to just apologize for not saying that right when I call this race. 2 back, he did win the Grade 1 English Champion. His only race this year, he was 5th, though, behind Cookie Monster in the Grand Premia Andalusia Cup. And lastly, we have John Oxett's homebred Quieter Time. Special guy who was 2nd in both the Arc and the Stewards Cup last year, but he won the Arc the year before that. And in his lone prep race over local ground, he won a Grade 3. And that is it. It is post time for the Desert Turf Classic, which is 1.5 miles. That seems aggressively long. And it is post time. The betting pool closes at, I don't know because I accidentally closed the window, $39,100. They're off in the $4 million Desert Turf Classic, and Wildly Red had to take up as Night March fell to his knees at the start. A bad start for Night March. Summerland goes out to the lead, and no one wants to challenge him early, so as per usual, Summerland is bounding along. He's immediately 3 lengths ahead of Night's Quiet, and then comes Wildly Red, Fireproof, Night March, Quieter Time, and then Shinsuke Nakamura is the early trailer. So they come to the top of the stretch for the first time, and it is Summerland leading by 3 lengths, with Night's Quiet sitting in second. They're very well strung out here. Wildly Red is about 3 back in third, then comes Fireproof. Night March is fifth, then Quieter Time, who's moving up a little bit on that one, and Shinsuke Nakamura is still the trailer. So about a dozen lengths cover the 7 of them. Summerland leads under the wire, and now he's opening up a bit. Summerland by 5. Then comes Night's Quiet, no change in order. Wildly Red. Fireproof is losing a bit of ground, though. Here's Night March to put his head in front. Quieter Time and Fireproof, those 3 together, and then Shinsuke Nakamura. So it is still Summerland, and now he leads by 6 lengths. Night's Quiet tracking him and moving up a little bit. Wildly Red, Night March, Quieter Time, and Fireproof. Shinsuke Nakamura is going to have to do a lot more if he wants to get close to this group, because they're turning into the far turn, and Summerland leads by 4. Night's Quiet is coming up on him. Here comes Night March and even Fireproof. Quieter Time starting to get involved now, and they're coming closer together to the top of the stretch. It is Summerland still leading. Night's Quiet right on his flank. Here comes Night March and Quieter Time, and we're down to 4. It's Summerland and Night's Quiet, those 2 battling it out. Night March and Quieter Time right behind them. Summerland, Night's Quiet, Summerland on the rail, Night's Quiet on the outside, and it's going to be a very close photo finish in the Desert Turf Classic between Summerland and Night's Quiet, Night March, and Quieter Time. Please hold all tickets while the stewards look at the photo. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an extremely rare occurrence in the Desert Turf Classic. We have a double dead heat. The victory went to Summerland and Night's Quiet, who dead heated for the win. And Night March and Quieter Time dead heated for third. So that was crazy. So those horses ran really fast. 2 more minutes until the Desert World Cup, so make sure you get your bets in for that one, and I'll be back with... Guys, I can't do it. There will be no race preview. I'll be back with a race call. Okay, I can't just ignore this Desert World Cup because it is so good. It really is. So just really quickly, there's only 2 horses in here that aren't millionaires, and they will be millionaires by the time their career is over, or multi-millionaires, or whatever you want to do about that. So on the rail, we have Bluebird returning, the royally bred son of Harry Potter, who is coming off of 2 second-place finishes in the Jet Ski and the Sikh Thrills handicap. Before that, he did win the Arcadia Classic with a 100 speed figure. Then we have Blue Bayou for Danny Derby, and this is the guy that won the Louisville Derby last year by a neck. He then won the Midsummer Classic and the Alexander Derby, which I don't remember existing and must have been sponsored. He was third in the Stewards Cup, but he won his prep for this race with an 88, so he was very perfectly prepped, and Blue Bayou is definitely a threat. Then we have Prince Louder for Aaron Sanderson. This guy did win the jet ski handicap, and last year he won the Baltimore Crown. He's always a little bit suspect at 1.25 miles. Aaron almost didn't run him here because of that, but he did win the Queen's Derby and the Awesome Derby at that distance. Who did he beat? None of those horses are here. He was 6th in the Stewards Cup Classic. Then we have Commanding for John Exet. This is a multiple Grade 1 winner of all sorts of different races. He did win the Awesome Derby and the Prince of Peace Stakes as a 3-year-old. He's 5 now, the son of Sherwood. He's coming off a 2nd place finish to Blue Bayou in that Desert Challenge Round 2. And before that, he was 8th in the Seek Thrills Handicap. Nowitzki, the surprise winner of the Stewards Cup Classic, is in post 5 for Jake Toward. Nowitzki had been knocking on the door for quite a while. He's done well in the desert before. He did win the prep here last year. He ran in the highly regarded stakes, which is the longer of the route preps. He finished 3rd that day to 2 of the horses that we have yet to preview. Next up, we have Gladiator, last year's Long Island Classic winner. He did not win for the rest of the year last year, but he was 2nd twice, and he won his lone prep for this race, the Messiah Stakes, with a 91, so another perfectly prepped horse in here. This is a son of Rambling for Chris Bobby. And then we have everyone's favorite 8-billion-year-old gelding, and that is Eastern Westside, who shocked the world by winning this race last year. He's actually won 2 more races on top of that since then, but in the Stewards Cup Classic, he was 8th. On the outside, we have Tarasenko for Izzy Rafferty. This guy is royally bred, and the son of Tahoe out of Skyfall did win that highly regarded stakes. He's won 2 in a row, and was a bit of a disappointment last year. He was 5th in the Derby, 4th in the Long Island Classic, 4th in the Midsummer Classic. Will he find redemption today? Way past post time, but I just couldn't let that one go. So the betting pool closes at $26,000. You guys are lame. That's lame. And it is race time. They're off in the Desert World Cup, and all horses got away well. It is Gladiator showing speed today, joined by Bluebird returning, and now Bluebird returning takes over. Gladiator takes back 2nd, then Prince Louder. Blue Bayou settling mid-pack with Tarasenko, then Nowitzki, Commanding, and Eastern Westside. The old gelding is last early. So they come under the wire the first time, and it is Bluebird returning, leading Gladiator with Prince Louder in 3rd. Then comes Blue Bayou. Tarasenko, Nowitzki, Commanding, and Eastern Westside is still the trailer, but they're tightly grouped. Only 5 lengths covers the lot. Bluebird returning leads by a length now, and Gladiator is quite happy to sit off of him. Bluebird returning setting a bit of a fast pace. Prince Louder is still 3rd, 4 lengths back to Tarasenko, who has moved up past Blue Bayou in 5th. Then comes Nowitzki, your classic winner, Commanding, trying to get involved now, not letting them get too far away, and Eastern Westside is still last as they are going to the half-mile pole, and Gladiator is the new leader. Bluebird returning has spit the bit, and Gladiator takes over. Prince Louder is up into 2nd now. Blue Bayou needs to get going because he's passed by Tarasenko. Nowitzki is not doing enough yet, and here's Commanding. They're at the top of the stretch, and Gladiator trying to get away from them. Prince Louder can't stick. Blue Bayou and Tarasenko coming on, and we're down to 3. It is Gladiator, Blue Bayou, Tarasenko widest, Gladiator in between them, Blue Bayou on the rail, and Tarasenko is driving hard, and they're coming to the wire. It is Tarasenko by a neck. Oh my lord. Gladiator 2nd, Blue Bayou 3rd, Prince Louder 4th, and then Nowitzki. I kept that secret all day. The official winner is Tarasenko. He's a 4-year-old bay colt by Tahoe out of Skyfall by Messiah. Tahoe, not Taco. Lord. He's owned by Izzy Rafferty and was bred by Art Vandelay. 6 for 12 lifetime, and he's now super rich. And also needs a headshot, slackers. Okay, so the problem is that somehow now we only have 5 minutes to do both the Oaks and the Derby, and that just seems like a thing that's not going to happen. I'd rather talk about the Derby. Sorry, guys. So the Oaks is getting the shaft a little bit. So quick, go bet on it, because I'm about to tell you who won it. Basically, a whole bunch of horses dueled, and a whole bunch of them stumbled at the start. And then in the stretch, Canadian Roses, oh lord, of course it was, Canadian Roses rolled away to lead and win by a length and a quarter over the Moment with She Stole My Heart third. Then Kissin' Shadows, Good Girl Faith, Skylar Grey, Once Upon a Dream, Secret of All Secrets, My One and Only, Heart of the Matter, Exaltation, Chasing Who, Tight Little Skirt, and Wouldn't Do, Trail of the Field. So the official winner was Canadian Roses, an Art Vandalay bred, owned by Brand Mackenzie, by Grant, and this is the final foal from Maryland Million. Oh, no, second to last one. And the Maryland Million died. Sorry, that wasn't meant to come out like it did. That was a little bit aggressive, guys.
Save her? That is so rude. You could at least give it to her when she died. No, she couldn't.
So, really sorry about not calling that race, guys, but sometimes it happens.
So, yeah, okay. Oh, that's her horse.
Okay, so next up and final, we have the Derby. 20 horses, and I'm just going to go over them very briefly because of the whole calling the race on time situation. On the rail, we have Somebody Else for Lino Duran. This guy is 4 for 5, and I really like this horse, and I really wish he wasn't on the rail because that just makes it really tough. Bred to go a mile and a quarter, he's the bomb. Then we have Kingdom Come, and this is arguably the lesser of the two Nini Hunter horses. He did lose the Kentucky Blue Stakes by a neck, and that was with a 97, so he's clearly very fast. A son of Rambling. Then we have Laura Ferguson's best Derby hope in a long time, and that's with Indiana Jones, the son of James Dean, is actually related to Somebody Else on the rail because his Damn Alleluia is out of harmony. Sorry, Indiana Jones, 4 for 4 lifetime, and that's him. Bronco is the number 4 horse, Amy Bahama, with her first Derby starter in like maybe 30 sim years, legit. He's lost 2 in a row to Silence Fallen, but he did win a Grade 2 race last year. Then comes Reckless. Elise Peverell bred this guy. Nina Olson owns him. He's a son of Heart of the Storm and Oaks winner Keep Dreaming. He won the Always Dreaming Derby, which was a sponsored race by a length and a half over Sleeping Citizens, who was considered one of the best Derby hopefuls this year. Then comes Follow Your Fate, and Follow Your Fate barely made it into this field. Mike Bryant with his first big Derby hopeful here. He's coming off of a second place finish with a 98 in the Buccaneer Derby, and that was week 3. So hopefully he's had plenty of time to recover. Before that, last year he did win 2 stakes races. Then we have Noctis for Danny Derby. Bred to run mile and a quarter, like this horse, Man of Mystery out of Paint the Night. You may remember her. He won the New York Stakes, and is probably the least talked about favorite 4 for 5 in this race. Wander Back to Me is related to Bluebird Returning. He is a son of Easy on the Eyes, so the distance might be a question mark for Nina Olson. This one's a homebred, and he did win the New Orleans Derby and the Fountain of Gold, so obviously you have to run here. Then we have Hold Us Together, 3 for 4 for Nini Hunter. This is another Man of Mystery out of Kept in Memories by Keep Your Promise. He's coming off of a win week 3 in the Battle Cry Stakes. Locksmith is the 10. This is another Man of Mystery because there's 1,000 of them. He's coming off a win in the Hot Springs Derby. I think the last horse to do that was Heart of the Storm. And Locksmith did run an 89 in that race for Phil Hoflick, who I might have said that name already. Oh my gosh, only one more minute. Silence Fallen, undefeated. One of the favorites in here for Rebecca Rose Hepburn. She even bred this one. She really would like to win. 5 for 5. A son of James Dean out of an anointed mare, coming off of a win in the SoCal Derby. Then comes Cheru, named after the movie Lion. I bred this one, a Keyboard Courage for Danny Derby, and he's coming off of a neck loss to Silence Fallen, but before that he'd won 2 in a row. Then comes Mike Eaton's Can't Promise That, a James Dean out of All I Can Be. I love this female family. He won his first 3 in a row. He lost by a nose last out, and that was week 3 with an 89. Then comes Farseer, and this is the sibling to, oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking. Cleo's horse that won the Derby last year, or 2 years ago, or last year. 2 years ago. Shoot, what's the horse's name? I'm totally blank, guys. Anyway, he's good. Has won 2 in a row, both of his preps this year, and she's going to, luckily can't hear this and won't beat me up for not remembering her horse's name. I breed to him a lot, though. Then comes Sleeping Citizens for Howard Cake. This is the horse that was almost not nominated, and people were freaking out, but he did eventually get nominated. He won the Christmas Cup last year and was second in both of his preps this year. The token Susie Rydell horse this year is Just a Moment, a son of Rambling and Eye of the Storm. He is coming off a win in the Kentucky Blue Stakes by a neck, and before that he had lost the Tremendous Stakes by a neck to Farseer. Then comes Some Superhero, and this is obviously Nina Olson's best chance in the race this year. This is a son of Mint out of a Maelstrom mare named My Madness. He has won 4 of 5 lifetime and coming off of both prep wins this year. Both wins were preps anyway, you know what I mean. Then comes the unbeaten Atlantis Pride. This is a very special horse to me. He won the Stewards Cup Juvenile last year with a 98, and then he ran only 1 prep this year and won. Then come 2 John Exet horses. So sorry to kind of lump them together, but I'm trying to get to the race. Best of What's Around was second in the Keyboard Courage Stakes last out, and number 41 was second in both of his preps this year, including behind Noctis both times. So that's the field for the Louisville Derby, a field of 20. That was an impressive, you know, me calling all those races, or you know what I mean. The betting pool closes at $310,400. They're off in the 49th Louisville Derby, and it was a good start for most. For all runners, Follow Your Fate right out to the front end, joined by Just a Moment, and then comes Indiana Jones, Kingdom Come, and Atlantis Pride. Lots of these horses want the lead, Somebody Else, and Best of What's Around. Then comes Sleeping Citizens, Some Superhero, and Silence Fallen. Hold Us Together, number 41, Locksmith, Bronco, Can't Promise That. Wander Back to Me, Charu, Noctis, Farseer, and Reckless is the early trailer as they go under the wire the first time into the clubhouse turn. It is Follow Your Fate leading with Just a Moment up second, battling alongside Indiana Jones, then Kingdom Come, Atlantis Pride. You could throw a blanket over these. Somebody Else, Best of What's Around, and Sleeping Citizens. Then comes Some Superhero and Silence Fallen. Hold Us Together, number 41, Locksmith, Bronco, and Can't Promise Back. Wander Back to Me, Charu, Noctis, Farseer, and Reckless is still the trailer. So now we have a new leader going down the backside, and that is Just a Moment, who's leading by a neck. Follow Your Fate is second. Kingdom Come has moved up to third. Indiana Jones getting a little tired from that battle, and Atlantis Pride is still fifth. Sleeping Citizens, Somebody Else, Best of What's Around, Some Superhero, Silence Fallen, Hold Us Together, number 41, Locksmith, Bronco, Wander Back to Me. The rest are going to need to get moving because they're at the far turn, and we have another new leader, and that is Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come has taken over from Just a Moment, who backs up. Follow Your Fate still battling bravely second. Indiana Jones is third. Atlantis Pride, Hold Us Together, the stablemate is coming on. Somebody Else, Silence Fallen, Just a Moment, and Some Superhero. Down the stretch they come in the Derby, and it is still Kingdom Come battling with Follow Your Fate. Indiana Jones, game as can be. Atlantis Pride, Silence Fallen, Hold Us Together is weaving between horses. It's going to be a blanket finish. Kingdom Come still leading by a neck. Follow Your Fate, Hold Us Together in between Indiana Jones, and it's going to be Nini Hunter 1-2 in the Derby. Kingdom Come and Hold Us Together hit the line together. Follow Your Fate was third, then Indiana Jones, Silence Fallen, Atlantis Bride, Somebody Else, Some Superhero, Charu, and Just a Moment. The official winner of the Louisville Derby is Kingdom Come. He's a 3-year-old dark bay colt by Rambling out of Why You Dream by Our Lions Real. He is a homebred for Nini Hunter, and he is now 4 for 6 lifetime. Now, if you're Nini, do you let the horse that just missed winning the Derby run in the Preakness? No, you do not. You send him somewhere else because he can just stop. All right, don't forget to stick around for a whole bunch of contests after this, and join us next Friday where I will be broadcasting the Baltimore Crown from my own couch and not from a hotel in Texas. Sadly, I will have no minions though, and that will be not ideal. Congratulations to Nini, and yay. go. Good stuff. Awesome.